Come on, you know how to get a snap in there. The Addams Family too. I saw the first Addams Family when it came through there. I saw it with Mark. I think it was one of the last films we actually saw together in theaters before his schedule ultimately just became too busy for him to be able to do the Thursday night releases. And we were both kind of pleasantly surprised by it. It wasn't anything astounding, but the animation looked nice. It captured the actual tone of the Addams Family fairly well. It was the origin story of the Addams Family, more or less. I mean, the Addams Family exists in the film, but you know what I mean. It's like it's our introduction to the Addams Family, and the struggle they have to deal with, you know, in the regular world. They are not regular. They're not normal by the standard definition of normal. They are abnormal, and they are perfectly comfortable with that. And for what it was delightfully spoopy, quirky, kind of kooky, and all the spooky. They're the Addams Family. So yeah, it was charming enough. With the sequel, I will say this. This is about the same. You get these characters, you get Gomez, again, I believe they're all voiced by the same people. Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron comes back, Snoop Dogg voices Cousin It. You get all these people back to voice them, and they're just honestly as delightful as before. They are the quirkiness, Fester Addams, Gomez, Morticia, Lurch. Like, you get all these characters, and they are back doing their shtick, but now they're doing it in a different context. They're out in the world now. They're seeing the world, family road trip, as you see by the trailer, and there's some fun stuff with it. I actually heard a lot of people getting a lot of laughs out of it, and some of them were like, okay, sure, whatever. Some of them were pretty good laughs. I got a good couple laughs in there. They don't show it. It happens off screen. Wednesday flat out murders someone. They never come back into the movie, and the implication in that scene is she murdered them. The fact they never come back, she flat out murders someone in the movie. I'm like, well, that's horrifying, but it's the Addams Family. What are you gonna do? There's, I'm not gonna say the context per se, but there's a kind of a kaiju fight in the movie, and I'm not gonna exactly say how, but I'm like, when it happens, like, I wasn't, even with Addams Family standards, I wasn't expecting this. Not to say I'm not entertained, still the animation's nice enough. Look, there's not a huge amount I can actually say against the film. It's just more of what you got in the first one. And if you like the first one, you'll most likely enjoy this. The critics aren't really giving it really aren't doing very well by it. I guess they find it, I haven't really read most of the reviews. My guess would be a lot of the jokes and gimmicks are kind of tired, and there is one thing I will say I think is somewhat of a detriment to the film, is the fact that the first film is mostly just about the accident, but it is also, there's the side story and kind of the subplot, the main subplot of Wednesday just feeling different and wanting to fit into a different culture, you know, different people, you know, all that. And like, okay, sure. You know, and then she realizes that her family is, you know, her family. And they do that exact same thing again. And it would help if the character of Wednesday were someone that would make it interesting enough for us to care about, if you know what I'm trying to say. Wednesday, because of the type of character Wednesday is, I think he can really only get away with that once before it's like, well, okay, but I'm so depressed. The world, not even depressed. The world is bleak and miserable. You suck. I will not give you a hug, Father. No. It's like, I want to kill my brother. And it's like, but I am better than all of you. There's only so much of that deadpan softness you can take from that character before it doesn't become appealing anymore. And it's just like, okay, once they, even by Addams Family standards, get your head out of your ass. You have a family who loves you. And it's clear you're going through, you know, the teenage angst, if you will. But at the same time, give them a break. You know, give them a break. You really need to kind of get your head out of your own worldviews and kind of look at the whole big picture just a little bit. And yeah, it's just a repeat of the first one in that regard. In fact, except for the travel aspect of it, you could make an argument this is very much a rehash of the original. Obviously with some differences here. There is a bad guy, and Unlike in the original film, I'll say this, without too much spoilers, it's a legitimate villain. It's not a very good villain. You can see the twist a mile away. Like, the minute you see, not the villain themselves, but the minute you see this character come in asking this about Wednesday and, asking this and all that, you immediately know who the bad guy is. So when the bad guy's reveal is brought, I'm like, not only do you know who the bad guy is, you know exactly what their motivation is. That's how easily it's set up. But I don't think that's really a detriment, because I feel like it's very obvious who the villain was, and I think it's supposed to be. It's more about the journey getting there. The problem is that because we got to focus on Wednesday for so much of this, she kind of becomes the main character, and Wednesday isn't interesting enough to do back-to-back movies with her being kind of the main character. See, at least in the original, it was all actually spaced out pretty well, with Pugsley actually having a major subplot. Gomez playing a very significant part. Morticia. Fester even has a very significant part. They're all significant stuff, and obviously Wednesday. Here, it's Wednesday who's who's got the main significant plot. Pretty much the main plot, minus, her father, or folks, trying to, be there for her as well. And while they're not all thrown to the wayside, they do still get a solid amount of screen time. They make it a point to focus on her. And again, I feel like I'm being a dead horse saying this, but she's not interesting enough or likable enough as a character on her own to do that twice and then make the heavier of the focus on her. She's not like completely drab or anything. There's certainly moments to her, like she is smart, and because of that she's able to figure out things, what's going on, and therefore she makes it at least somewhat interesting, but not enough that I feel like it was worth the plot point, let alone rehashing a similar plot point from the first one. And I haven't read reviews, but I feel like a lot of people have probably been talking about that. And I'll say this: it's a legitimate thing. They could have gone a different route with this. Other than that, though, I found it perfectly kooky, spooky, ooky, and altogether kooky. But yeah, so if you liked the first one, you'll probably like this one. I had a nice time with it. It's not going to be in my top 10, but probably won't be in my top bottom either, or bottom 10, I should say. It's just a decent little Halloween movie. And now that we're in October, officially in October, what's wrong with that? Now, granted, let me rephrase it this way. It's a good Halloween movie for families and kids, because we also have Halloween Kills coming out. We just had Let There Be Carnage come out. We have Antlers coming out near the end of the month. Dune. Yeah, there's a lot for Halloween this October, surprisingly. Two legitimate Halloween. Oh, actually, I'd say 3 legitimate Halloween-ish movies with No Time to Die. With Halloween Kills, that's legitimate Halloween. The Addams Family, very Halloween-esque, and Antlers being a horror movie, a creature feature. Like, we don't get a lot of those anymore. With Guillermo del Toro, of all people, behind it. Like, we don't get that very often anymore. So, hey, look, take a win where you can take a win when it comes to the Halloween content. Ultimately, yeah, I recommend it. If you like the first one, you'll like it. If you just got some kids and you want something kind of new for Halloween, and you haven't seen the first one, watch the first one, honestly. The first one's probably a little bit better because, again, the rehashing of the Wednesday plot does hinder it a little bit. So yeah, I will actually say, while they're probably roughly on par, the first one edges it out because it was a little fresher in the first one. Yeah, that's not all I really got on the movie. I could go by some jokes, but some of the best jokes are still not in the trailer. You see the majority of them. Lurch does get another scene where he sings a song randomly. I think in the first song, everybody hurts. 2, 3, 4, sometimes. And this one, I won't say the context or the song, but it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny. And there's a running joke with Lurch too with another character. Well, not a running joke. There's a joke that pays off very much with a character that we see in the movie as well, and Lurch. Anyway. Trailers, anything, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Okay. I can't say I have any real interest in it, but if it's available and I don't have anything else to see, I'll go see it. That's what I do. We had Ron's Gone Wrong. That also comes out in October. That looks like fun. That's a different trailer than one I've seen. That looks like a lot of fun. I'll admit, that looks like fun. Got Spider-Man No Way Home. Always a pleasure to see that trailer on the big screen. Actually, Encanto, the new trailer for Encanto. That looks interesting. What happens when, the whole family who are magical, is the magic starting to fade, and the one person who's not magical has to, what do you do there? Plus the cultural aspect of it, the colors and the music. Oh, it looks like it's gonna be great. Can I think of anything else? Oh, Sing 2. I'll be honest, I didn't see the first Sing. I don't mind musical. I do like musicals. Hell, I loved In the Heights. And I like animated films. I just don't know that one. When the first one came out, I'm like, oh god, okay, sure, whatever. This one, I don't know. I'll probably give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I can't think of anything else for. I know we had more trailers, but I can't think of anything that stood out to me because it mostly would be animated. Oh, there's another one. I can't remember the name of it. It's based off a book about a guy who about a football player who was passed on by so many people who said, you're too old to be a rookie, but too young to be a veteran or an elite. So, why should I take a shot on you? And he finally gets his chance to play. Apparently, it's based on a real story. They got Zachary Levi, Dennis Quaid, True Blood girl, Rogue. Why am I blanking on her name? Anna Paquin. So yeah, okay. I don't really care much for these true story inspirational tales that much. Not that there's not anything wrong with it, just from a storytelling perspective, I'm like, they don't really appeal to me that much. And I'm not really sure why. It's not the same kind of not disdain, that's not right. Not the same kind of disinterest I have with religious based faith movies where I actively loathe those. No, I actively avoid religious faith movies. But it's just they don't normally work for me. Not to say they can't. I'm sure I remember the Titans. I liked Remember the Titans a lot. I'm sure there are some other ones that I'm forgetting about. But anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow I'll have a Who Would Win and a What If up tomorrow. So thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.